So I'm going to try to help you out with this radio that you have. I'm not an expert, but I'll try to put it into layman's terms. Um, First thing we're going to start with is the power button. Turns on your radio. The timer switch is just for a timer to turn your radio on or off automatically by itself. Not something that's necessary. I really wouldn't worry too much about it. Once you learn how to use this radio, you can mess around with that if you want to, but it's not necessary. Uh, the phone or record. So record is for if you want to plug in a tape recorder. The phone is for headphones, which my radio right here has the same port. Your radio might not have a speaker. Mine has a speaker on top, or it may not work. So if you want to test that out, I would recommend plugging a pair of headphones in. Maybe that would help. Then, yeah, I wanted to ask you if there's a speaker. If not, if you don't see a speaker, then try the headphones. The function knob that I noticed on your radio, you want to switch that to frequency. Otherwise, in your display, it will either display the clock or the timer, but it will not display the frequency. You want it to display the frequency because you need to know where you are on the dial, basically, so that way you know, like, if you're tuned to some weird frequency, like let's say, I don't know, 2.5 megahertz, you're not going to really pick anything up. Maybe WWV if you're lucky, but you're probably not going to pick anything up. So make sure that is displaying the frequency in that box. So have your switch switched to frequency. The other thing I wanted to go over is there's a dimmer on there. That's basically just for the display light. Don't really worry about that. The NB, it shouldn't affect your radio at all. Don't really worry about that. You have several modes, and I'll get into those a little bit later. I'll do that last, but this dial right here, this would be your tuning. So this is how you would tune in the station. The RF ATT, that is like your, to put it in layman's terms, it would like reduce your signal. If you're picking up something that's really strong, it would help eliminate maybe like overload, or it would eliminate that distorted sound from a really strong station, or interference if you're picking up a lot of interference. So this radio has the RF right here. You can kind of hear the signal kind of going away. The AF gain that you see on this one, this is the volume. So that's what I'm doing with this AF gain right here. And now back to this, the ATT function is
What is wrong with you? And now with the cell phones and the texting, they've got shorthand.
So you can kind of hear it. I don't know if you can really tell with this frequency right here. Let me switch to a different one. Give me 1 second. Okay, look at the frequency, or I'm sorry, look at the signal meter. When I press this button, you can tell that it's going down, and now it goes up. So when the ATT function is on, it reduces the signal. This help eliminates interference, noise, anything like that. All right, so that's what that is for. I would try turning that, I'm not familiar with this radio, but I would try turning that, adjusting that, see if that would help picking up stations. Because if that is on or at a weird setting, like it's too low, then you might not pick anything up at all. I don't remember the picture. I'm not sure where it's set at. So I would turn that and see if that would help. The band in megahertz, that is something that's not on this radio right here. So I really can't show you with this, but this is basically showing a knob, and you would tune that knob, I guess, to go to different bands on the radio. It's not meter bands, it's basically the megahertz range. So the first one would be 5,000 megahertz, which this being nighttime, you might have luck with that. 10,000, uh, 15, 20 might be harder at night, but during the day, you should be able to pick up stuff with between 10 and 15, maybe less than 10, and around greater than or equal to or less than 15 in that range. Probably nothing above 20 unless it's WWV. And then 5, this range and below at night. So just try turning that and going to different frequencies. And maybe you'll pick something up. This mode part would be this right here. So this is in AM mode right now. FM sounds like that. AM is what you'd mostly use. CW is for Morse code. It's going to make it sound really muffled. USB upper sideband is mostly used at frequencies greater than 10 megahertz. Lower sideband is mostly used for frequencies below 10 megahertz. The only time that they use USB is like in lower frequencies would be like military, aircraft, pirates, people like that. They would use this USB function in lower frequencies, but amateur radio operators mostly going to use the LSB function. But yeah, so I think I went over everything, I hope. I noticed that your grandfather has a lot of radios. So if you do have a radio that can transmit like this one, I would just say that you want to make sure that you don't transmit without a license. The ways you can transmit would be anything that ends with an X will be a transmission button. So don't press those. If it has a microphone, which your radio that you're interested in doesn't, you don't have to really worry about that. But if you do come across one that does, don't transmit, because otherwise you will probably get in trouble. I don't know if they'll catch you, but if they do, they'll fine you or take away your radios. You don't want any of that. So just don't transmit. If you notice that this radio right here has a indicator light showing when you're transmitting, if you are transmitting, that light should come on. So if you see that light, just stop what you're doing and don't go any further with that. So but anyway, yeah, so I don't know if this helps, but hopefully it does. So this is what the CW would be used for. It'd be used for picking up Morse code. The other functions, your CW and LSB are connected to the same button, so you'd probably press the 1 in order to hear this. So let me show you like what LSB would sound like. This is lower sideband. This is what you would use to listen to amateur radio operators. See if we can get a good signal. So yeah, that would be amateur radio. This is the lower sideband function. So I couldn't show you the USB function. I did pick up somebody talking using the USB, probably a pilot or something, but he didn't really have much to say. So for the sake of time, I'll just say that that would be for listening to people that would be using upper sideband, mostly like pilots on the lower frequencies and military, things like that, weather stations. Anything in the upper range would be usually USB, but for these, it would be USB as well. I don't know if that makes sense. I might be just droning on about that, but yeah. So basically, those are the functions. I hope this helps a little bit, at least. If it doesn't, just respectfully let me know. I'll try my best, or take it for what you will. But hopefully I could help a little bit. hopefully that could help a little bit, and that kind of cleared things up for you. And if that doesn't work, there might be something wrong with it. One quick thing I wanted to go over was I noticed that your grandfather had one of these radios, the Panasonic RF 2200, and this is a really nice radio. Don't let anything happen to it. It's really highly sought after, and it's definitely a really powerful receiver and something that you definitely want to take really good care of. And I would try this out. This is a very nice radio. And if you want to see how this works, just check out the other video on my channel. You'll see this radio. Click on it, and you'll kind of get like a quick overview. If you want me to go into more detail, just let me know because I can kind of show you more of the SW spread dial, which the radio that you want to get working has one of these. So I'll show you how to calibrate that. I kind of went over it in that one video, kind of just quick detail about it. But if you want to know how that works, just let me know. I'll make a video about it. But yeah, this is a really highly sought after radio, very rare, very expensive radio nowadays. So just take really good care of it. And if you want to use it, go ahead. I highly recommend trying this out.